G'day everyone, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the Broke to Barren challenge. This is a challenge thought up by Farmer Donkey, so I'll put a link to his channel in the description. It's going to be a tough one. Am I prepared? Absolutely not. Am I stressed out? 100%. But we'll figure it out as we go. Hopefully we can achieve it by the end of the series, but if not, we'll have fun and it'll be a good time anyway. So as you can see, if you're aware of what the map is, we're playing on Drumard Farm by Cavalier Roy, which is a pretty nice little map. Bring it up and have a look. Not overly big, it's quite small to be fair, but I like the smaller maps. The big maps make things a bit too much. So this is, as I said, the Broke to Barren challenge. There is a lot to go through, so this episode might be a little bit long, but I'll put little images up with all the rules as I'm reading them out, so you can follow along. And let's get into it. So we started off with $250,000. No loans and normal difficulty. We can do it on normal or hard. I've chosen normal. If it feels like it's getting too easy, I might push it up to hard, but we'll see how we go. And there was no start farm. So there was nothing. We just come into the map with $250,000 and go from there. With that $250,000, we had to buy land and equipment to the point of ending up somewhere under $10,000. Once we've got under $10,000, we can start the challenge. So as you can see, I've ended up with $5,665. I have definitely forgotten some equipment or something that I won't realize until I get to it, but we'll figure that out as we get there. Now, here come the rules. These are the big rules. You can take up to a total of $1 million out as loans for the entire challenge. So that's the maximum amount total that you can take out for the whole time you're doing this challenge. Each amount of a loan that you take off must be paid off before you reach the next stage of the challenge, and you can only have one loan out at a time. So if I take $25,000 out right now, I have to pay that off before I can proceed to the next step of the challenge. And that's going to be tough. Hopefully I don't need to use too many, but it'll be good to have probably for later game, I think. Contracts can be done with our own equipment. We're used to that. That's how I usually play it anyway. So we're doing all right in that department. You cannot remove hedges. That's not something I ever do anyway, so it's not really going to be a problem for me that I'm aware of. Something will come up definitely later where I wish that I could do it, but I can't. Them's the rules. Driving our farm equipment on the main roadways, for example, the harvester, a tractor, plow cultivator, anything like that, we will have to pay $100 a day or per month, depending how you want to look at it. And that's basically to cover what you would call road maintenance and us damaging the roadways. Any mods are welcome. I've got a heap. I don't know specifically what I've got on really. I just sort of turned everything on and got rid of things that I knew I wasn't using. So it's not too drastic. It's just certain equipment and certain items like this plow and things like that. The only mods that aren't allowed are money generators, like the government subsidy and things like that. They're just not allowed because that's kind of sort of cheating the system. So we kind of avoid that. Now to the settings that we have. Everything is on. For the fields, crops and growth, Seasonal growth is on, yes. I'm running on 2 times speed. I may increase that. We'll just see how we go. But crop destruction, periodic plowing, fieldstone, weeds, disaster destruction are all on. I have dirt slow just because I like clean stuff. Automatic engine start is off. Sort of all that things, all the AI worker stuff is off. And then we'll just go to general settings and I'll show you those there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I've got for my settings. It's pretty much dealer's choice in that sense. And I got a few of my other mods in there. Now we get to the challenge. The challenge is 5 stages. That's the point. That's what we're aiming for. So the first stage is the peasant, which gives us access to chickens. As you can see, I've already built the chicken coop, but we are lacking chickens. So once we've got a bit more money, I'll start getting into that. In order to proceed to the next stage, we need to own 100 chickens. So that's our first goal, is to get our stuff started and end up with 100 chickens in here. That then proceeds us on to tier 2, which is the shepherd. That allows us to buy goats and sheep. We need to own 100 of each. 100 goats and 100 sheep. I think you can see where we're going here. Once we've done that, that unlocks the ability to buy cows and pigs. You guessed it, we need to own 100 cows and 100 pigs. Once we've done that, that gets us up to the tycoon, which unlocks buffalo and horses. We need to own 100 buffalo, and how many? That's right, 5 horses. I've never owned horses before in this game. I've never done anything to do with horses in this game, so I'm ecstatic that I only need to own 5. But we'll figure that out when we get there. And in doing that, that unlocks the Baron, which is the end game, basically. We need to end up owning 30% of the entire map and have productions that use all of our animals' produce. Now, I was a bit skeptical or scared of that thought because I was wondering what production uses all of them. But I later discovered that it was just you need to have a production that uses each item. So you can have one that uses eggs, one that uses milk, one that uses the wool. So it's not as daunting. Once we've done all that, that is the challenge. Who knows how long it's going to take, but that is the end game. We can build productions along the way. That's not a thing where you have to wait till you're at the end game. If we want to build a bakery or a dairy or something like that for our animals when we have them, we can do that perfectly fine. And that all counts towards the end. But this is the challenge. This is the fun. And we're going to crack on into it and see how good we can go. So let's get into the equipment. Here is how we are going to transport all of our equipment around. We have our Lizard Diesel Rumbler van with the ride-on tray. We have our low bed trailer with the same thing, but the sides also come down so we can load it with bales, wood, anything we need to chuck in there. We have our Ford 6610 Turbo. This is the starter tractor that I've chosen to go with. Got the weights on the back and the weights on the front. It's a good little bit of kit, 100 horsepower, and it gets us there. It's already damaged from me just bringing it here, that's fine. We don't worry too much about that. Then we have our Massey Ferguson 310 Combine Harvester. This is the cheapest one we could buy, but it does not have the smallest capacity. I think I upgraded it to large, so we get a good couple of thousand litres of crop in that. All the way over here, we have our Farm Tech EDK 650 trailer. That's just for our produce, our gains. Jeez Louise, I'm already panicking. This is for all of our crops and grains and things like that. We have our little Lizard S300 seeder or planter. It's a seeder, it's not a planter. With our pallet of seeds right there. We have our Lizard Arc 10 plow. That's a modded plow. It's the smallest one we could get that our tractor could pull. It's, I think, 2 point something meters. I went for the upgraded version in my testing and it couldn't pull a plow. So, you know, we had to downgrade. We have our Lizard Duplex mower. Where is it? There. A Lizard Duplex 627. Just a little cheap mower. Mainly got that to do contracts. Just because it's cheap money for not really too much work. We have our Lizard Harrows cultivator. It's a 5 meter cultivator. So that should get jobs done relatively easy. We've got 2 pallets of lime. We have our Lizard PS15-3 fertilizer and lime spreader with the extra capacity added on top. Our pallet of fertilizer. And our Lizard 863 Turbo skid steer. I initially had the... I can't remember what it's called. But I basically had the pallet forks on the front of the tractor. But it was just annoying me. And I figured I'd need a skid steer here anyway. To move the pallets and bales and anything that we need to do. So figured I'd just buy one. And that, my friends, is pretty much how we got down to $5,600. We have our nice little house. This is where we're going to sleep. It's pretty cool. Little bachelor pad. Open our little cupboard. There's our toilet. And ka-chow. Super bed. Let's go. Put that back up so it doesn't get dirty for the day. And this is our field. It is a field of spinach, which we cannot harvest. So, my plan is to plow this up. I was going to cultivate it, but I want to get rid of these. And I really hope plowing does that. I tend not to plow. I usually have periodic plowing off. But it's the challenge, so let's go for it. Let's jump into the tractor. Let's get the tractor started. Get the beacon on so that people know we're here to do some work. And let's kick off into getting the plowing done. Now, I didn't test this size, so hopefully it works. Some people are choosing not to use the GPS system. I absolutely despise not going in a straight line. The only time I'm not using it is if I'm in a vintage survival scenario, like in my other series. So, instead, I will use it. We're going to start getting our ploughing done. Another doozy is that fieldstone is on. I always tend to turn fieldstones off. So, we'll have to either deal with fieldstones the first couple of harvests, because the stone pickers are expensive, and I also don't think this tractor can pull them. There is an alternative, which is I have a modded scoop for the skid steer, where you can drive along and it'll pick up stones out of the field. So we might look into doing that. We'll see how these... Yeah, it's picking up some big ones, isn't it? That's no fun. I could have just cultivated, but I'm hoping this gets rid of those tram lines in the middle. Ooh, she doesn't like going uphill. There we go. If she just stayed in second, it'd be alright. We might have to do this manual and not let her shift. This little sort of decline in the field here sucks. It goes really steep, so I can't put any productions on there or anything like that. If anything, I'd probably just extend the field out. But we'll do that another time. So how fast does it get up here? See, in second we get to 12 kilometers an hour. So we might just have to shift it into manual for doing this. I'm also unsure about the rules of using workers. I feel like it would be fine. I don't see it being a big problem. But, you know, I'm going to try my best not to. It's not like we have a heap of work that we have to do right now. All we've got to do is this first field. Get it ploughed. Maybe get it seeded. We can put canola in today. Or if we wait, we can put wheat in it next month. I would kind of like to do the wheat. Canola's good for money. But with wheat we can feed the chickens. So, you know, it's one of those things. Trying to figure out, do I want to buy chicken feed? Or do I just want to grow it? We'll have to buy chicken feed anyway, because I'm going to be getting chickens way before the wheat's ready to harvest. But we're almost done with our second headland. It says to do 5. I don't think we're going to do 5. I think we'll do 3 headlands, at least at the ends, because we're going to go up and down. We're not going side to side. Does it stay in manual? It does not. Well, that's alright. With me holding the accelerator, it's not going too slow, so we're getting through it. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll finish this headland, and once I've done that, I will leave yous to it, and I will come back at the end of the ploughing, and we can see where we're at. We might do another contract, or a contract I should say. Might do a contract to end the episode and get a little bit more cash in. See how much a stone picker is and how much power it needs and so on and so forth. But now that this headland's done, I might just do a little cut for you guys. The time lapse I think will be too long, so we might just do a little cut. And then I will see you when we're just finishing up the ploughing. I'll see you on the other side, guys. And welcome back, everyone. This is it, the final row of ploughing to be done. And then we can move on. There is a metric, you know what, ton of stones in this field now. I'm contemplating whether we get rid of them or if we just bite the bullet. There's really not that many, to be fair. I know it could be a little bit of money if we decide to take it and sell it, but it's also more money than is worth. I think if we don't get the money back for the bucket, because the bucket's $700. So if we do not get that money back, this is awful. This is why I couldn't do this stuff in real life. Because there's actual things at risk. But yes, it's $700 for the bucket. We know we can't put anything in the field yet because we want to chuck wheat in it. Wheat cannot happen till tomorrow. So, just double check. Perfectly plowed. Beautiful. Love to see it. Now, what we can do while we're waiting, turn that tractor off, is we could do some harvesting contracts. The trouble that will require us driving this harvester to the fields. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of decent ones. Yeah, some pretty massive fields here. That would actually be good with oat if we could get some oat left over. Get to keep some. Can we feed oat to the chickens? I think we can. So we could do that, or we could do the two little canola jobs. Where are we? We're right in the middle of the both of them. So that's canola to the oil mill, canola to the grain mill. Oh. I don't really like that then. Or we could do that canola field. How big is our field? 1.6 hectares. So these are both a lot bigger. That one's not. But that one's not that much bigger. I think we do that one. Get ourselves over 10. We can't do any spraying contracts because we don't have a sprayer. We have a fertilizer, so we could do these. That's an easy... I feel like we'll do this one first. We'll do this canola mill or oil mill canola job. So we'll take that one. So that's field 22. Now let's just see. We might be lucky. Oh no, wait. We want to leave that on. I forget that I need to start the engine. And we just take the corner of his crops out. That's alright. Now I'm pretty sure the combine does not go on this. It might. I do not remember. If it doesn't, then we will have to spend the $100 and just drive. Drive the combine on the road. Yeah, this is exactly what I thought happened when I tried it. I feel like... Okay. We're just going to bite the bullet. We're going to have to drive the combine down the road. So we'll get the combine going. We'll get down there. We'll start harvesting. And then we'll come back. Get the trailer on the back of that. and then we'll get our job done. I'm assuming we can go this way. I would hope so. Don't want to damage all the roads. But this is the roads that we're talking about when we have to pay the $100. Oh, I feel like this stops. I feel like this becomes a roundabout way. Oh, took out a fence. Oh no. We get there. That's cool. There we go. This is the canola field, correct? Beautiful. So we'll head down the end. Hopefully this can actually get up that hill. Because if not, we're in big trouble. For this taking way more time than it needs to. Get this going. I like using these GPS setups purely for wanting to do little montages or the time lapses. It makes them look really good. But we can get up the hill, so that's a plus. We're off to a good start with this. It's a pretty big field. I didn't realise it was that big. So I'm glad we didn't go for the $12,000 one. Because that would just be outrageous. So we definitely need, although it's bigger down there. We're heading up to the skinny point now. So this should net us a good $5,000. I think what I might do is I will buy the bucket for the stone picker, I think. Or at least for the skid steer. And then worst case scenario is we can just chuck it in the trailer and go and sell the trailer. A trailer full of stones. It won't get us our money back, but, you know, it gets us a little bit of money. I'll think about it while we're doing this harvesting, and I'll see where we're at the end of it. I might change my mind 10 times. Oh, right, we're not going to go. There we go. Yeah, see, so we're going to get a decent chunk of trips out of this. I think our trailer can take 2 loads, 2 full harvesters worth, and then we'll have to dump it. So hopefully we don't have to do too many trips, but it's also not that big of a journey to the sell point, so we should be doing alright. We'll see how it goes up here. Nope. That's a worker. I don't want a worker. Thank you. I do like this old Massey. I think this is the harvester I have in my Vintage Survival series, but I don't actually remember. It seems very familiar, but also not at the same time. Or maybe I just haven't noticed it. So all the rules that I explained at the beginning, I'll type them all in the description down below. I'll also put links to the few creators that I know that are doing it, that I've watched do this challenge. Farmer Donkey, who I believe created it. I believe it's his challenge. So definitely go check that out. And Rusty Money Gaming is also doing it. And he's made it a lot harder for himself. Well, not a lot harder, but he's he's added a few more rules for his own gameplay that I was just not gonna do. No chance, no how. But so far I'm enjoying it. This will be probably a once a week, maybe once a fortnight series. I don't know yet. I'll see how I progress. At the moment there'll probably be a lot to do initially. Getting our field set up, but once we've got that started and seeded and ready to go, it'll sort of be contracts galore basically. Just be doing contract jobs, getting money on the side. I'll also be playing it off camera, so like some of the bigger contracts that take an amount of time. For example, this big harvesting contract on field 36, which is double this size. I'd probably, something like that I would do off camera, just because that's an immense undertaking that I was just not ready to do yet. I also record late at night, so I have to use my time wisely basically. So that'll be two farming sim series going, and I will get back into the trucking sim soon. It just is a hassle setting the wheel up. I could use the wheel for this, but it bugs out a little bit and just it doesn't really work properly. I'll have to sit there and muck around with it. But so far so good. We're not losing money. Oh, actually, we'll have to. No, that would have been bad. There we go. That's our payment for using the roads. So that's going to be a once off for August. So now we can just drive. We can drive our tractor on the road. We can drive any of our stuff all over the roads now for the rest of this month, and then we just have to pay it again in September if we need to use it. If we don't need to use it, we don't pay it. So my tractor and majority of my equipment can fit in those trailers. So if I had one contract somewhere, I could do the tractor trailer, chuck it on the trailer and get it over there. It's purely this harvester that's just a bit too big. Maybe eventually we'll get a truck and a low loader, but as of right now that's not a viable option. It's also a very small map, so having a big truck and trailer combo just doesn't really make sense. I'm also looking at a lot of the big maps because I want to start using large equipment. I've never used anything sort of bigger than this really. This is like the biggest I've used in any of my series. I use this, or I use a modded harvester that I've downloaded. Big maps sort of scare me, just purely because I don't have much time to record. So I tend to shy away from things where a single job's going to take 5 hours. I just don't have that time. If there's any big maps you know of that you'd want to see, like I like the Alma, Missouri mod map. I know there's the survival map, the survival 4X map. That's pretty cool. But that's just you start from, you have nothing. So you have to make your own fields and stuff like that. I know there is, what is the big one? Judith Plains. I know that's a big one people are using. So I might check that out. That's got a lot of fields and they're all massive. So that would be definitely a big change in what I do in these games, but why not try something new and put myself out of my comfort zone, hey? So we might look at that. If you want to see that, let me know down below what you'd like to see me do in it. If you just want me to start with a farm, with all the equipment, with everything going, or if you want to see me, I kind of want to do a full start from scratch series where I have nothing and I have to start with contracts. I think my tractor's faster. It is. Well, we've already paid. I turned it off. We've already paid for the month, so why not just use it, eh? Get this on the trailer. I do like this tractor. It is a beaut. Now I could make the case of just spending $100 every month just to drive stuff over the roads and then sell the tractor and trailer. But I don't really want to do that. If I can avoid doing that, I would like that more. So if I can get around it, obviously I've already paid it today, so I'm going to use it. But if I have no reason to move the harvester tomorrow, then there's no reason why I should pay the $100, you know? I want to be a bit good to the rules and not just sort of, well, I'm going to make the money back anyway, so I might as well pay it. Like, it's not going to hurt not to do it. Put the beacon on because we're in the roads. So, just for today, while we're doing this contract, we'll drive it on the roads. Now, I'm assuming I'm going to have to... Well, that can go off. That can start. There we go. Yeah, so we should get at least 2. Yeah, I think it's going to be just over 30. Yeah, it'll be close to 40%. Oh, there you go. 43%. So we will get 2, and then we'll just go and sell it. No. There we go. I have a habit of somehow managing to activate the AI worker when I'm just trying to do it myself. I'm not sure why it happens, but it does. Doesn't do it all the time. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll send you on a time lapse. We'll get it done, and then we'll see where we're at the end. How much money we get, how much extra canola we get. And I'll catch you on the other side of the time lapse, guys. guys, welcome back from the time lapse. We're just towards the end of this now. The last little bits. As you can see, we're 95% complete on the contract. So we probably don't have to do all of it, but try and get our money's worth. I'm fairly sure we can finish 100% of the fields. So I want to take as much as I can and get as much extra money at the end of the contract as we can. I did not expect it to take this long. It has taken a hell of a lot longer than I anticipated. I feel like using the GPS makes it go slower. I know it doesn't. It just feels like it does. I feel like I do things a slightly different way that appears to take less time. Probably doesn't. Probably actually takes more, if we're being honest. But that's neither here nor there. So we should get all of this last lot in one load. I'm not fussed about little individual strands of canola anywhere, you know. We'll just leave them. So as I said, this episode is a long one. I understand that. A lot of the rules explaining at the start. This one taking a bit longer than I expected. I might cut a little bit of the time lapse out, so if there's a section of the field that you didn't see get harvested, that's what happened. It's just to bring the video length down. I know that for some people longer videos are a bit daunting. People don't really want to watch them. I very much so love long form. Oh, we can't do it. Okay. That sucks. That must be a mod that I've got that I turned off. Because I've got Contracts Plus. I've got better contracts and Contracts Plus turned on. I've got Contracts Plus turned off. So, although that means we finish the contract, so we get however much is in there. 1,000 litres of canola isn't anything to be sneezed at. But I also don't want to keep it in the trailer because I need to use the trailer for other jobs. Yeah, so right now if we go to the grain mill, if we head to the grain mill, we'll sell it for almost, we'll get $1,000 out of it. So that makes it a $6,000 or so contract. We could keep it till tomorrow and sell it tomorrow. But I really don't think it'll be... It's not that much of a change, is it? It'll just be just over 1,000, so... We're not going to save that much money. Or sorry, we're not going to get that much more money than if we were to just use this one today. Plus we'd spend $100 having to use the farming equipment on the roads again, so it really isn't viable to use it today. Alright, so that's 1,147 bonus. Let's just end that contract now while we're here. There we go. So look at that. Sitting at a comfortable $12,000. So what I'll do, guys, I'll get the tractor, the trailer and the combine back to the farm. We'll call it there. That'll be the end of the episode. But as I said, off camera, I'll probably do a couple more contracts in August. The next episode will be, if it's not starting in September, we'll be jumping into September pretty much straight away. I might buy that little... Actually, no, I need the skid steer. I might buy the stone picker front end for the skid steer, because I realized that the stone picker mod I've downloaded, our tractor will not be able to pull it, so we'll have to do it all in the skid steer. Hopefully that works, but we should be alright with that, guys. So with that, thanks for hanging around. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and you want to see more. Comment down below what you think's a good little money maker or a good idea to do. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Goodbye.